Okay, I'm going to show you how to go in and use Google SketchUp Pro for a home styles unit that we do. Because what we do is we go find a home that we like that's already been created. We'll learn later how to design them and build them in the computer. But right now, we just want to go find one, figure out how to send it to layout, how to get our different views, how to change the scales, and how to build a basic model before we start getting into designing our own homes from scratch and building models, etc. of those. Okay, so this first one we're simply going to use SketchUp. Why do we use SketchUp? Well, because a lot of the industry started using it, and it would help if you could type in, yeah, there it goes. So I'll type in SketchUp, it's going to pull up SketchUp, and I'm going to start using it. Step one, I want to get rid of the guy, because we don't need him. And now I'm going to go to 3D Warehouse, and I'm going to get a model, and search for a housing type that you like. So I'm going to say modern contemporary. Doesn't matter. Whatever style that you found that we were doing that you liked, we're going to pick that. Maybe that one. Nope. Try contemporary. That works for me. And it's by Marky. Oh, how funny. How Marky. So that's the person we're going to give credit for doing it. So right now, modern contemporary. I'm going to download and pull it directly into the Google SketchUp. Okay, let's place it. So now you have to click a couple times to get it to place. There we go. Let's zoom out. There we go. So here's my pan tool so I can move things around so I can see. Here's my rotate tool so I can rotate things around. All right, now this is a really cool house. This is what we want to use, but let's go check a couple things. So I'm going to go to my standard camera, standard views top. Okay, good. Standard view, I'm going to go to front just to check. Okay. And notice that it's really cool and you see a lot of things, but we're having a little problems here with all the cool foliage. So let's actually go back into ISO. We need to spin around, etc. And we're going to get rid of some of these. To get rid of them, I'm going to click on them and delete them. Now notice how it won't let me collect. It's clicking the whole thing. So I'm going to go to right click, explode, and it makes each one of these different objects editable. And then it's just a matter of selecting them and hitting the delete button because I don't want them in my way. I need a nice clean side view when I'm working so that I can draw and make my model. I'm not going to worry about getting all the bushes. I'm just going to get enough of them out of the way here. Anything that's going to mess with that right side profile. If I need to move in, I can. If I need to spin it around, I can. Remember, spinning around, just get rid of all of them. Zoom in. Because now, camera, standard, right side. I see just the house, which is what I want to see. We want to see the model of house. We want to see what it is that we're creating. Okay, so before I go any farther, I want to save this. So I'm going to go to File, Save As. And you're going to want to put it into your U drive to your folder. So there's my drive folder. For this case right now, I'm simply going to put it on the desktop so I know where it's at. And I'm going to give it a title. So this one is Modern Contemporary. And this is the one that I like. Now, I'm going to want to send this to layout. So I'm just going to go to Standard View, ISO, File, Send to Layout. This is going to pull up SketchUp Pro's version. And it doesn't really matter what version you pick here, paper, because they're fixing to open up the one that I've provided and we're going to use it. But for right now, we just want to click. And we do a couple of things. We want to go to check our scale and we want to make sure our scale is set to either 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. And depending on the size of your paper, you'll find that it may be too big or too small. See how 1/4 inch doesn't quite fit? Whereas for the size of the paper right now, 1/8 of an inch does. And we just want to get that view. And I just click to the side to get the part of it that I find that's most important, which is just the house. Okay, now we want to go to the web page that we have and we want to use the title block that's been given. So if I click right here, download, and yes, download anyways, because that way it doesn't mess with the file, and hit a save as. And again, I'm saving it to the desktop so I don't lose it, so I know exactly where to go. And now I have that file to start with. Because what we want to do is we want to open that file. Go to where you have it saved. There it is. It should be in the folder. That way we can open straight into the layout. Now I want to get rid of everything on these pages that are my example. So they're there so that you know what you're going to get. But we don't want your stuff. We want to put yours, not mine. And all I need to do is simply take this and copy it and paste it. That's all I need to do. And put it in. And I may find that it interferes with my text. So if it interferes with my text, all you have to do is resize that text box. See how easy as that is? Type it in. So this one we know, double clicking on it, was a modern contemporary. We would need to see what is a roof tile, what was the time that it was well known or famous. I need to go get the person that we just used it from, so that modern contemporary. My Marky Mark, so I click on his link. It says no profile, just Marky Mark. Okay. It's got 33 models in here, so okay. There is none for us to go to, but the person is Marky Mark. Sometimes you wonder. So there is no website for us to refer to, but we can say Mark. That's who it was. And this one's modern contemporary, so this one should probably be more the 20th century. When I'm looking at the roof style, it's kind of hard to tell here, but if I go back into my 3D that I have here and not spinning around, I can look at it and I can tell, well, looking at it from the view here, so we're looking at essentially a gable roof because of the way the angles that we have here. So we're dealing primarily with a gable roof. So it's a gable roof style. Okay, fine. And we want to keep going. So it's gable. This one should be 20th century, Marky Mark, etc. Okay, now I want to change my information over here. To do that, double click on it and pull it in. So scroll up, double click on the date, double click here, put your name in, etc. Put all that in. Okay. Now let's copy this page right here, make sure we have it, and go to east and west. So right click, paste. Sorry, right click, standard views. And we want this one to be right and left. So we want resize your box. Get just what you need. I'm still spinning around. Move it around on the page to wherever you need to. Move the text around if you need to. I may find that I need to actually make 6 pages out of this one, because I need to explain why I picked this house. So I'm actually going to right click over here, and I should be able to duplicate, and I'm going to rename it. And so this might be west elevation, and I'm going to rename this one east elevation explanation. Right click, standard views, switch to the left one with the right. Again, just resize your box so you get the whole house. I don't need to keep this text, so I'm going to click on it and delete it. There we go. Actually, I'm going to move it centered a little bit better, because I just think that looks better. So I have east, west. And I already repeat the process. I want to do my north and south. If I have to do multiple pages, it's the same thing. You right click, duplicate the layer, and make sure you got all the ones you need. Now let's go here into roof and go ahead and put this one in here. Paste. Standard view, top. Double check your scale to make sure your scale hasn't gone off. Because sometimes when you do that, it will mess with your scale. Discovered this the hard way. So here is my top view. You may need to click on and you may need to move your text around. You may need to resize that text, and that's okay. You do whatever you need to do so that it looks right. Again, zoom in, double click on it, and change the information and all that. Okay, now, so we don't lose this, do a save as, and do the exact same thing we did a minute ago. Save it to your computer to where it's supposed to go. So I'm going to call this modern layout. All right, next video I'm going to show you how to do some editing and changing so that we can get the floor plan so we can create our walls.